Daniel thought he was enjoying life. That's what he told himself anyway. Sleeping in a little longer, putting things off until tomorrow, taking shortcuts whenever he could. Nothing serious, nothing dangerous. At least, that's what it looked like in the beginning. Because destruction rarely announces itself loudly. Sometimes it enters your life quietly, through small, repeated habits that feel harmless. Most people don't ruin their future overnight. They do it one delay at a time. Daniel always believed he had time. Time to get disciplined, time to improve, time to get serious later. But later slowly became his lifestyle. At work, he stopped giving full effort. Tasks that once took him 1 hour started taking 3. Deadlines became suggestions, excuses became normal, and every time someone confronted him, he always had an answer ready. I've just been tired lately. I work better under pressure. I'll fix it tomorrow. But tomorrow never fixes what today keeps repeating. One lazy day feels small, but repeated long enough, small habits become your identity. At first, the consequences were subtle. His apartment became messy. Bills started piling up unopened. He stopped answering calls from friends. Then came the warnings at work. His manager pulled him aside one afternoon. "Daniel, your effort has changed." Daniel nodded like he understood, but inside, he dismissed it. They're overreacting, he thought. So nothing changed, and life kept moving, until it started moving without him. Comfort becomes dangerous when it slowly replaces discipline. Months passed. A promotion opportunity opened at his company. Daniel was sure he would get it. After all, he had been there longer than most people. But when the announcement came, someone else got the position. Someone younger, someone newer, someone who stayed late, someone dependable, someone disciplined. That moment hit Daniel harder than he expected. Not because he lost the promotion, but because deep down, he knew exactly why he lost it. Still, he didn't change. Not yet, because pain only transforms people when they stop lying to themselves about its cause. The life you want is usually hidden behind the work you keep avoiding. Things got worse after that. Daniel began missing payments. His energy dropped lower. Even simple responsibilities started feeling heavy. His confidence disappeared quietly, not in one dramatic moment, but little by little, like water leaking slowly from a cracked glass. One night, Daniel sat alone in his apartment, surrounded by unopened mail, dirty dishes, and silence. The television played in the background, but he wasn't watching it. For the first time in a long time, he looked honestly at his life, and he hated what he saw. Not because life had been unfair to him, but because he realized something terrifying. He had been slowly destroying himself. Your habits are building your future, whether you realize it or not. The next morning, Daniel left his apartment just to escape the feeling. He walked for nearly an hour without thinking. Eventually, he stopped at a small park. An elderly man sat alone feeding birds nearby. Daniel barely noticed him at first, but the old man noticed Daniel immediately. "You look tired," he said calmly. Daniel forced a small laugh. "Yeah, life's been rough lately." The old man nodded slowly. "No," he replied. "Your habits have been rough lately." Daniel looked up. The words hit him harder than he expected. The old man motioned toward the bench beside him. "Sit down." And strangely, Daniel did. For the next several minutes, the old man listened quietly while Daniel explained everything. The missed opportunities, the exhaustion, the lack of motivation, the feeling that life was falling apart. When Daniel finished, the old man sat silently for a moment before speaking. "Most people think their future is created by big decisions," he said. "But your future is usually created by what you repeat every day." Daniel stared quietly ahead. The old man continued. You didn't wake up one day and ruin your life. You trained yourself into this. The words were painful, but they were true. Discipline feels difficult in the moment, but regret feels heavy for years. Daniel finally asked the question he had been avoiding. So, how do I fix it? The old man smiled gently. You stop waiting to feel ready. Then he gave Daniel 3 rules. First, do the hard things early. Second, finish what you start. Third, never trust motivation. Build routines instead. Daniel listened carefully. For once, he wasn't looking for excuses. He was looking for truth. The old man stood slowly from the bench. Then he said something Daniel would never forget. Your life changes the moment your daily habits change. And with that, he walked away. Success is rarely about talent. It's usually about what you consistently do when you don't feel like doing it. The first week was miserable. Daniel woke up earlier, cleaned his apartment, finished overdue tasks. Everything inside him resisted it. His old habits kept calling him back toward comfort. But this time, he kept moving anyway. Week after week, small things began improving. His energy returned. His focus sharpened. His confidence slowly rebuilt itself. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because Daniel finally stopped escaping responsibility. Months later, his manager called him into the office again. But this conversation felt different. You've changed, his manager said. And this time, Daniel agreed, because he finally understood something life had been trying to teach him all along. Your future isn't destroyed by one dramatic mistake. It's shaped quietly, by the habits you repeat every single day. So if your life feels stuck right now, don't only look at your goals, look at your routines. Because the habits you tolerate today are creating the life you'll live tomorrow. If this felt like home to you, subscribe. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, share this with them.